Have you ever suddenly turned around because you felt like someone was staring at you, and when you looked back, someone actually was? I've experienced this many times. You're just walking somewhere, minding your own business, and suddenly there's this strange feeling like someone's eyes are on you. So you turn around, and for a brief moment, your eyes meet with a stranger. For a second, it almost feels mysterious, like maybe humans have some hidden sixth sense. But the truth is actually much more fascinating. Psychologists say this feeling is extremely common. In fact, studies suggest that around 90% of people have experienced the sensation of being watched at some point in their lives. So if you've ever felt it before, you're definitely not alone. But here's the strange part. Scientists discovered something surprising while studying this phenomenon. Even when people aren't actually being watched, their behavior can still change if they simply feel like they are. And one famous experiment proved just how powerful this feeling can be. But before we get to that experiment, we first need to understand something about how the human brain works. For thousands of years, early humans lived in dangerous environments. Detecting danger quickly could mean the difference between survival and death. Because of this, our brains developed powerful systems that constantly scan the environment for threats. Even when you think you're not paying attention, your brain is quietly monitoring everything around you. And one of the most important tools your brain uses is something called peripheral vision. Peripheral vision is the part of your sight that detects movement outside the center of your gaze. Even when you're not directly looking at someone, your eyes can still notice small movements from the side. Maybe someone slightly shifts their body, moves their head, or changes their posture. You might not consciously notice it, but your brain does. And the moment your brain detects something unusual, it sends you a signal. That signal often feels like intuition. But now let's talk about that experiment. Researchers once placed images of human eyes in different public places to see if people would behave differently. These weren't real people watching them, just simple pictures of eyes printed on posters. But the results were surprising. People who walked past those images became more careful with their actions. They were less likely to litter and more likely to behave honestly. In other words, just the feeling of being watched was enough to influence human behavior. This shows how deeply our brains respond to the idea of observation. But there's another psychological reason why this feeling sometimes seems so accurate. It's called confirmation bias. When you turn around and someone actually is staring at you, that moment becomes very memorable. Your brain stores it as proof that your instinct was correct. But think about all the times you turned around and nobody was there. Those moments disappear from memory quickly. So over time, your brain remembers the correct guesses and forgets the false alarms. I've noticed this myself. There have been times when I felt someone looking at me, turned around, and nobody was there. But those moments are easy to forget. The times when someone actually was staring, those are the moments that stay in your mind. And because of that, the feeling starts to seem mysterious. But in reality, it's simply your brain doing exactly what it was designed to do. Your brain is constantly protecting you, scanning the environment, detecting tiny movements, and preparing you for social interaction. So the next time you suddenly feel like someone is watching you, it might not be supernatural at all. It's simply your brain quietly working in the background, trying to keep you aware of the world around you.